we're going to start with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm just going to put down the music here. And this is the new game from Ubisoft that is going to be released a little bit later this year. So this is a work in progress. I do have some drop frames at my hand. It's not the video itself, it's my recording. But that should be okay nonetheless for the little explanation. So Assassin's Creed, I'm a big fan of the series. I started to play Assassin's Creed's Origins a few years back. The Egyptian setup, then the Greek setup with Odyssey, followed by Valhalla. It does look amazing. I totally agree. Valhalla, which is the Viking setup, and recently Assassin's Creed Mirage. If you look back at the channel, you will see that I've completed the game, and I had a great time. First, it was a little bit hard on the adoption, but I did understand where they wanted to go with it, and the payoff was so rewarding in terms of storytelling. So Assassin's Creed Shadows, this one is set up into feudal Japan, and you will be able to play two different characters. One will be a samurai and the other one will be an assassin. So you will be able to change one character to the other based on your mission preferences and to go for more stealth approaches to assassins, or to, at the contrary, really barge your way in and go berserk if you want to. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly like the Ghost of Tsushima. It will be the version of Ubisoft, I believe, but with the source of Assassin's Creed, obviously, and possibly some more lore that is related to the sci-fi environment of the franchise. I am starting to get really confused about the kind of sci-fi environment and lore of Assassin's Creed, but I'm hoping to see the light one day about what's going on in the background. Nonetheless, so this is what we have. So obviously beautiful environment, a lot of environmental storytelling around that particular segment. And this gameplay, this work in progress, will show what a mission will look like. So it's a game that will be really focused on the notion of honor, loyalty, and all kind of like almost ancestral values of the culture. Here in that particular segment of the game, we are going to meet that particular villager, and she has been oppressed by a notable lieutenant of the area of the district, putting pressure on the people of the village. And your mission will be to find that person and confront him to appease the villagers and make sure they are not under the thumb of this thug lieutenant, I would say. So this is how it's going to play out. So obviously a lot of mission of the kind to bring peace back to the people and to be at service, obviously as part of your job and your mission. And the mission will be divided by little segments, first travel to the village, then identify the character, confront him, and, liberate the people from that kind of oppression. Yes, they do, absolutely, you're absolutely right, Les Contrées, wrestling. They do have an ongoing Kickstarter about Assassin's Creed RPG at the moment. This is very true. I think there are a few playtests ongoing at the moment as well, and they are about to release the Magic the Gathering's Assassin's Creed. Here we go. So if you like TCGs and you like Assassin's Creed, hey! The best of two worlds in one go. I'm quite excited about the cards, and I look forward to have my little hands on it. Here we go. So when you look at, obviously, the gameplay right now, beautiful render in terms of texture and environment. There is one thing that I'm missing most of the time in this kind of setup is a little bit of work camera in terms of lens work. I found that everything is a little bit in focus and kind of drop some of the cinematic experience. You see that you have a nice blur in the background, but you have nothing of the kind when you are, working around. So for me, everything is a little bit in focus, and visually speaking, maybe it's just me, but I don't know really where to look, and it feels like everything is really important. It's not the case. So in terms of combat mechanic here, we have a strong melee attack. We do have mechanics related to armor resistance as well, which is pretty cool. And this is one of those guys as well. They're going to have some armor on the helmet. So you must need first to break the armor before, touching the kind of health level of the characters. So that's kind of new. I don't remember Assassin's Creed doing that before, which is good. On the side here, you will have obviously the different kind of attack options and the different type of weapons you can use. Obviously, it's heavy melee here, and that's what will be the particular style of that character. I really like the black and white and red blood splatter of it. I think it's really graphic and very true to the culture as well. So this is kind of like, you know, a massive baseball with like barbed wires or something of the equivalent. So quite heavy set attack, and you know, that can really help, obviously, if you have a lot of you know, opponents. But if you want to be stealthy, maybe that's not the best option for a character. So you will be able to swap character before every mission and have a more stealthy approach, or a more kind of bazooka, kind of head first type of approach to problem solving in Assassin's Creed. I really like the slides on the mod as well. It's pretty cool. I mean, the game looks beautiful. Let's be honest. It's again, yeah, it's quite strong on the attack. Absolutely. The moves are pretty cool. I think there's still a few adjustments to make in terms of key transitions on the animation, but it's a work in progress, and it's quite likely that this demo was produced a few months back, so it's not significant of where the game is. We need to keep that in mind. It's a little bit on the, you know, schedule-wise, it's a little bit behind. Yeah. They look like crab, like in the Legend of the Five Rings. Yeah, I guess it's a style. I guess it, you know, it can work if you like to work sideways. It does work. Here we go. So the animatics are very smooth as well. I really like the you know what? Oh, that works, man. And here comes the second character that you can play. So this character will have a more stealthy approach. She will work in the shadows, and you will see in a minute the way she operates. I'm quite keen of playing her character, although I don't know the stories or the scale of the different type of missions, but I found her approach a little bit more interesting. So yeah, let's find out. Now, in terms of environment, just a quick note on this as well, there will be quite a bit of emphasis about seasons and when you play the missions, which means that depending on your progression, I believe the seasons will change, which means that, you know, for example, in the winter, people will be more indoor. In the summer, people will be more outside, or the night would drop a bit later, which means the guards will be likely to be around the fortress or the camps of interest a bit longer, might be able to see you more. So there's an emphasis based on season. So here we go. This is the moment when you can play and decide which character you want to play for the next segment of the game. And that is pretty cool. I think that hasn't been seen since Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I believe. And I like that. That brings diversity and a little bit of gameplay alternative instead of staying with one character only, or having just a set of attacks and defense that are consistent, although you can upgrade through the game, but that are a little bit, I would say, similar throughout. So yeah, here we go. So stealth mission this time with our secondary character here. Naohe, I believe her name is. So that's really smooth, and I love the wire here. I love the grappin. I'm not sure about the word for this, but this is really cool, and the animation is very smooth as well. So this one is all about stealth. It's about blending into the shadows and even shocking and knocking down the lights around so you can make progression into the area. If you are seen by one of the guards, you won't be able to perform attacks. And that is kind of the limitation of the character. So you really need to be stealthy. You really need to be tactical about your progression. And I found that really cool. And this is a bit of an upgrade from Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was all focused on stealth. I find the interaction with the environment is really interesting and opens a lot of possibilities. And the fact that you have to flee the area if you are seen makes sense. It stays, it's really, you know, coherent with the character. So yeah, I'm quite fond of finding out, how to play this and what's going to happen in terms of storytelling. That's the one thing we don't know yet. And it's about what the story is about, truly. Sure, there's this alliance between this rogue assassin and that samurai, which seems to be on both opposite sides first, and then gather together to probably bring down some kind of syndicate or kind of organized oppressive regime, I believe. But it's still a little bit obscure, but maybe we will have a bit more information via the website when we will look at it in a minute. So yeah, I found this pretty interesting, and I think it's a good upgrade for Assassin's Creed to being this kind of dual mode, because you might have a preference I definitely enjoyed strong melee attack with Valhalla. This is kind of my way of playing, but having a more stealth approach when necessary is also really cool. So having those two options will bring a lot of, I think, diversity to the gameplay, and there'll be a little bit of everything for everybody. I really like the modulation as well and the work on the lights. What she's going to do in the middle is really cool as well. She's going to hide above the door, and I really like that. This is really cool. All right, and then you can pass by your opponent. So confrontation is not always an option. Maybe just hiding sometimes and waiting for the right moment to strike is the right way to do it. Now, if you look at this section, it's quite interesting as well. The character will go around the pond to access that particular character and assassinate him. That's the purpose of the mission. So she needs to hide from those characters, and she will start to go into the pond and hide there and take some hair with a kind of straw, I believe, so she can stay underwater and not being seen. Now, if you were playing, sneak attack, that's correct, absolutely, sneak attack. If you were to play that particular sequence in winter, the pond will be frozen, so you won't be able to actually progress, and you will have to think about a different approach to kill and take down that character. So if you just wait a bit, then she's under the water, and now she's going to take that straw and take some air. I found this really cool. That is a great idea. I think they put some interesting ideas into the behavior and the expertise of those two characters, because they are already really kind of skillful. And then you have this massive kind of like metallic chain ball that just do a lot of damage around, etc. So it's great to take down multiple opponents at one. You can see that the trees kind of disappeared as well as soon as they were destroyed as well, so to clear out the view for the player. It's a good idea, I think it works. And now you can flee the scene. You don't have to stay for more than what you are needed for. You are quite vulnerable. I don't think you have a lot of armor or a lot of character resistance. So it's about finding the right timing and do the deeds and disappear into the shadows, which is what this character is all about. Here we go. So pretty badass, pretty stylish. And this is what the promise of the game is in terms of gameplay, in terms of game styles. So Assassin's Creed Shadows will be released in a few months' time. I believe there are already a few. I think the pre-orders are available on the website, but we'll look in a minute. And you have different packs, obviously, and the entire kind of pre-sale bonuses and skins, and all that stuff will be there to incentivize early payment. Obviously, I'm not particularly keen of early purchase for this kind of games. I don't think it really had much. It's more like a trigger to bring a return on investment early for the studios, but just my position. Maybe you have a different view on this. So let's have a look at the website. Here we go. So this is us. Let me try to interact with it. Here we go, and I should be able to oopla, bear with me. I'm trying to find my way. Oops. I should be able to move it around. Hold on. Hold on. Interact. Here we go. Here we are. Okay, I'll put that. I'm not dropping too many frames on this. A little bit. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so November 15th for Xbox and PlayStation, Ubisoft Plus and season passes as well. So we kind of saw what most of the game has to offer in terms of gameplay. A new Creed Rises, live the untold stories of Naue, an undead shinobi assassin from Iga province, and Yasuke, the powerful African samurai of historical legend. So together they will join forces and try to dismantle this syndicate, I believe. So explore feudal Japan. So discovering and exploring feudal Japan. So discover the captivating open world of feudal Japan, from the spectacular castle to towns or bustling ports and peaceful shrines. There you go. So that will be like a beautiful environmental experience. That's cool. Now you can become the shinobi assassin, or you can become this legendary samurai otherwise. Yeah. And then you can obviously have all sorts of weapons that are aligned with your abilities, your skill system, and so on and so forth. So you'll be able to choose one or the other according to your preference and approach missions based on your, the task at hand. But maybe sometimes it's easier to go stealth, or maybe just to go headstrong on the task. So when it comes to the pre-releases, you're gonna have the basic game, okay, sure. Then you're gonna have the 3-day early access. You're gonna have the season pass and the ultimate pack with goodies and skins, and maybe I believe complimentary missions as well. And the collector pack, obviously, with the statue, the map, the altar, the little like flag on the side, probably limited prints as well, which will be for the collectors and those who have enough space on their shelf, which is definitely not my case. There you go. So this is Assassin's Creed Shadows in a nutshell. Thank you very much. Thank you. So many snacks are coming our way. So that will be Assassin's Creed Shadows coming up in November. So are you excited about it? I am excited about it. I'm a little bit dready of the length of the game, because those games can be quite time consuming. I remember I'm still playing Valhalla. I'm still on it. I spent over 60 hours on it. So it's a bit of a time investment, but it's completely worth it, I think. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you have the time, and really big time commitments on this kind of open world games for me, it starts to be a little bit, I'm going to question my choices a little bit more than maybe before. I really enjoy the scale of Assassin's Creed Mirage. I think the 35 hours mark was really coherent for what the game had to offer. But I believe this one will be a little bit longer, and the map will be also a little bit bigger. So I'm expecting probably around 50 to 60 hours of game for this. So you need to have that kind of a schedule available if you want to play Assassin's Creed Shadows. Did you already finish one of the Assassin's Creed so long to? Yeah, I did finish a few actually. I finished Assassin's Creed Origins, and I finished Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm still on Odyssey. I'm still progressing in Odyssey, and I'm still progressing in Valhalla. I'm one of those players who took those games on the reboot a few years back. I've played a little bit with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I will probably play a little bit of Black Flag as well. I'm quite curious to see how it works. Yeah, exactly. Those environments are really beautiful, and I think this is part of the game. I think this is one of the appeal for me, regardless of criticism sometimes of storylines and a little bit of a plot-based gameplay. It's the environment. It's really beautiful and pretty, and roaming Valhalla, I love it. And Assassin's Creed Mirage is really bursting with life and a lot of things happening. It's really cool. I really like it. Cool. So that was Assassin's Creed Shadows.